Hi, I'm Mitch Hauschildt, Rehab expert, Division I strength conditioning coach, also founder of Maximum Training Solutions. One of the things I want to spend some time talking about today is this idea of rotary stability and also just creating efficient rotation, especially at the core. And really is paramount. I know for myself, the last couple of years I've spent a lot more time with training my athletes, working in rotation, and also training them how to prevent rotation. That's an area I think a lot of people are getting confused right now, is they really want to get out and train in rotation for their sports, because so many athletes and really general clientele in general need a lot of rotation. The problem is, if we train rotation before we train them how to prevent poor rotation, then we're getting the cart before the horse. So we need to make sure when we're training rotary stability, we need to look at their ability to prevent poor rotation or prevent any rotation at all. Once they do that well, now we can go to creating good quality rotation. So there's really not a better exercise out there for training rotation than chops and lifts. And those have really been become popular in the last few years. One of the things I want to talk about today is just this idea of using the ultimate sandbag on a chop variation. So it's really become a great tool, and I love doing it in this position because it allows us to really get the entire posterior chain activated and really looking through some of those fascial lines in the posterior side, oblique chain, or oblique slings, whatever the terminology you like to look at. But it's really just that crisscross pattern across the back and getting that integrated in with the core and the rotary stability. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start off with just a power bag. I like the power bag because it has the handles on the ends. I'm going to take just a regular band and go ahead and attach it here through that handle. Now, most of the time we would think of adding some sort of a load or an outside variation here as a progression. This is actually a regression in this specific instance. So I'm going to give him just a little bit of pull. His job is to prevent me from rotating him. So he's packing those shoulders in, locking them in nice and tight, getting lats engaged, and we're just going to go into a bridge here. Okay? So he can hold it, or we can go up and down and do it for reps. His job here is to prevent that bag from moving and preventing rotation. So that's our first part of this variation. Now we can progress it from here by going single leg. So the next part of this is we use the leg that's closest to the band as our next part of the progression. This is a pretty straightforward exercise. A little bit more complex, but not significantly more difficult than the last one. Now, if we want to progress it further, we go to the other leg. Now, this becomes really difficult. This is a much harder part of this progression just because of the stability and lack thereof in that position with the load going this direction. So now from here we can add to this. Once they've proven they know how to prevent rotation, now we can start to create some rotation with his chop variation. So this time he's going to keep his shoulders against the floor, and he's going to move that bag away from me and bring it back under control. And back down. Good. So we're really still preventing rotation of the core, but we're starting to create some rotation with the upper body. So that's what makes this part of that progression. Now we can progress from here, obviously, and go to single leg. Same thing, starting with that leg that's closest to the band and going there, and then progressing to the other side. So just another really good variation of this chop that we can start to progress in a systematic manner. Now, we can continue to add to this progression by actually taking the band away. Like I said, usually we think of adding a band as a progression, but in this case, taking it away now is the progression, because now he has to control this sandbag eccentrically and concentrically, where before I was doing all the control eccentrically. So we go with that regular bridge, and then we can go single leg as well. But he's got to really control it, put the brakes on, and bring it back towards us, which is why this becomes the progression for this specific exercise. And then obviously varying the legs up is going to give you a whole different dynamic. So we can also vary this up actually as well by working in a diagonal pattern either direction, which gives us a whole nother chop variation with it. So I just encourage you, take your time training rotation, train how to prevent rotation, then create rotation. After that, using all kinds of chops and lift variations, this is another great tool with the ultimate sandbag, another way you can really get that rotary stability built within your athletes and clients.